Yes, this is a sex story. Also a story explaining how whatever you let a man do, so shall he doeth. And that wasn't a biblical quote, but it sounded like it. This story is the exact example of why I do my best not to participate in casual sex, meaning that I have tried it and I hated the entire concept of it. But this video that I am making today is actually in relation to my previous videos, knowing who you're dealing with, loyalty, casual sex, everything is returned tenfold, and a sexual act. This is also exactly a prime example of how I can't forget how well and easily I, Miranda Moore, played the fool in this story. There's examples all throughout this story for why you need to know who you are. You need to be grounded in it. Because it's natural as people, especially women, to start seeking approval through the people that we value. Most importantly, you never want to let someone just walk all over you. You never want someone determining your value for you. As a kid, I did what I could to not be noticed due to me being insecure as a child, but rather than accepted. And I hoped that maybe then I wouldn't be the fool in the story. Well, I have come to grow and learn that if you are not willing to be the fool, then you are not willing to be the master. And the story goes something like this. So a child, then a boy, came to notice me and my dark skin when I was in middle school. And I bring my skin color into this because it actually plays a very significant part in the story. In my previous videos, Dear White People, what is life like with my dark skin? The reality of dark skin. I also explained how people literally are treated differently by others still to this day based on their skin tone in 2020. I noticed that at a young age that this particular male that I was, so-called noticing, I knew that he was gonna grow somehow to be a leader. I mean, like, I was literally on some I was seriously fascinated with the decision to be bold. Even though I didn't necessarily understand certain things at the time, I still understood that there was a correlation between leading and being bold. In short words, you could say I actually looked up to him. I really did. When I was a kid, I wasn't confident at all, like I said earlier, due to my skin color being dark and as well as my own kind treating me as if it was something wrong with being the skin tone that I was. Sidebar, that is a major stipulation within the Black community. There's hurt and strong dark-skinned women and men all over the planet because they can clearly feel the divide that is within their own culture. You could say all the way back to slavery and segregation times. That was technically only 50 years ago, but this particular male actually didn't deal with this because he was from Venezuela. So you could say that I saw that it wasn't something that he had a problem with. And I definitely clung on to that. I literally wanted and wished I had the bond that is within the Spanish community to be within my own, within the Black community. And that's also something you could say I looked up to him for. Like, I admired it strongly. So we so-called, liked each other, and we ended up growing up together, but I would say we ended up growing in the wrong direction because I was always thinking that I had to suffer to get love, daddy issues, that I had to give to get. And that's actually true in some sense, but not what I was given. Good. I was libidinous even before I had sex. Because remember, this is middle school. So I wanted him to imagine me as I imagine myself. A lover, a giver, a great friend. Somebody that was hurt easily, but I was willing to go literally to the end to defend those that I valued, with honor and all of that stuff like that. These are middle school days that I understood that with every coincidence comes a logical explanation. And unfortunately, as him and I grew together, things became more sexual than chaste, because as he grew, he became a man that was more of, you could say, physical pleasure. You know, he has a hedonist and licentious lifestyle. And unfortunately, as I grew, I was the erotic girl. You know, like I said, the backstory, you know, she got
daddy issues. She thinks she gotta suffer. Her daddy don't love her.
You know what I mean? Like all of this crazy stuff that people with daddy issues be going through and thinking, like, it's ridiculous. But I began to use wisdom and understood accountability. I realized that I was living in a moral lifestyle, and I understood eventually why your physical pleasures shouldn't always be fulfilled. Like, it should not. If you do every single time, you will see yourself falling short. Meaning, just because you want to do something does not mean you should go and do it. You have to be strong in your mind about that, as well as in your spirit. When you are strong in your flesh, you are weak in your mind and in your spirit. But when you're strong in your mind and in your spirit, your flesh has no power over you. Your decisions become more efficient and not based on, you know what I'm saying, I guess, like how you feel. You know, it's more logic over illogical, rational versus irrational. Things become more clear to you. Your flesh begins to dictate less on your decisions. I had to learn to keep certain kinds of people out of my life as I, grew up, is the most important thing that I learned. But so when we did start having sex in our later years of high school, we both agreed verbally that is something that killed our relationship over the years as we've aged. Because all of a sudden now we having such a hard time communicating. You know what I'm saying? It was almost like he was speaking Spanish and I was speaking English the whole time. So there also came a time that I understood me sleeping with him was never going to do me any good. It was never going to have any type of progressive anything. You know what I'm saying? But was I strong in my mind about that? I clearly wasn't, boss. Sometimes I would stand strong on the boundaries that I was trying to set for myself as a young lady, and also just for the sake of our friendship. And other times I completely buckled. I believe that I did buckle sometimes was because he was always, for show, giving me his points, his thoughts for why it wasn't an issue if we weren't having sex and there was no commitment behind it. I disregarded all the rules that I set for myself. If you give a man everything he wants without a commitment, what does he need to commit to you for? He is already reaping all of the benefits of being with you without even committing to you. I also saw that the most he would be around and communicate with me is if we were having sex. And if we wasn't doing that, then it would just seem like time was always limited. Oh, I just got so much going on, so many errands to run. I'm on a time schedule. I ain't got time to sit here and fool around with you. I'm busy. Yo, when I was a kid, I was so focused on trying to be with him at a certain point in time to where it was pitiful because he
never, ever
wanted to be with me the way that I wanted to be with him.
Can you say it louder for the niggas in the back, please?
Yeah, for sure. I got you, bro. Hold on. Never! Never!
Thanks, Miranda.
All right, yo. Yeah, you good? You up to go? I'll see y'all tomorrow. Bye. But I figured he'd just want me more than what he did if I low-key just did what he said. But that is exactly what did not happen. Make sure you guys stay tuned to find out how Miranda got played.